Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is the exciting one. This is for the enthusiast in you. This is also the part 2 of the first drive review of the Skoda Slavia. It is the 1.5 litre TSI engine. Here's a little recap of the 1 litre engine. You can go and check on the links up on the power icon or in the description below. Now, there is not much of a visual difference except now look at this engine, flawlessly built, cut to perfection, and of course, this screams of enthusiasm from every nut bolt of this. That's a loud noise, but it's time to make some noise and have some fun. Let's go. The exterior design language and interior layout is exactly similar to the 1 litre variant which we reviewed earlier and is quite fresh off the oven. Take for instance on the front, it gets a bold hexagonal front grille and chrome surrounds on it which looks quite attractive. Then there are headlight units just beside this front grille which houses the Skoda advanced LED tech. All in all, it introduces an emotive design language of its famous Octavia and Superb. Coming to the sides, you can clearly notice the beautiful character lines. Then there are the 16-inch alloy wheels. We also get the wheelbase of 2651mm that liberates an ample amount of space on the inside. On the rear, C-shaped LED rear lights look quite classy and smart. Just like the outside, the interior is also quite sophisticated and modern. It gets ventilated seats which actually kept me cool in this hot Goa weather. The clean, minimal and dual-tone interior feels upmarket. Then there is a 2-spoke steering wheel which feels nice to hold. The bronze character line running across the dashboard and the circular air vents also looks quite pleasing. Yes, it is playful, it is fun, it is peppy, just true to its Skoda lineage. The ride quality won't really say it's supple or pliant, but it's very peppy, yes. The 7-speed DSG gearbox does a wonderful job. Of course, you know DSG gearbox, there are 2 dual clutches here and they split odd and even numbers, and the result is fast transmission. How much faster? 400th of a second. Now that's some tiny bits for you to absorb. Now what is really important is that the steering is very precise. One turn and you can really take the car to your direction just like you would like, you know. Now this 1.5 TSI churns out 148 brake horsepower and 250 Nm of torque, which actually is felt very rightly because this has a lot of power, a lot of grunt in the engine. The moment you try to floor the pedal, it really responds in that direction. But yes, with a hefty noise, which something you will like. It's typical Skoda. In ride quality, it is not the supplest or pliant as you'd expect, but it's definitely on the fun side of it, definitely on the peppy side of it. With 179mm of ground clearance, you are talking already an SUV zone because Skoda Kushaq, for example, comes with 198mm of ground clearance. Honda City's closest competition has about 165mm. Now with that much of ground clearance, the ride quality cannot be so supple as you would expect in a typical sedan. But it is better than an SUV for sure. But it will leave you a little bit more desired. If you're looking for a very comfortable ride, then you have to look elsewhere. But if you want something which really is between a SUV and a sedan, then this fits the bill perfectly. And of course, that's what Slavia is meant for. Now, with this ground clearance, we've actually taken it to some broken patches and it's really done its wonder. Okay, it's not that sort of a cabin which will really cocoon you with a sound insulation and you can do deep meditation. If you're looking for that, you're better off maybe with the Honda City. The NVH levels are not the best in its class and there's an ample amount of road noise which will seep into your cabin. But then I guess that's what we signed up with the Slavia for. It is definitely on the fun part of it, but the sound levels will be on a higher side inside the cabin with or without the music system. There's a plenty of hard plastic used everywhere. And all of this really adds up to the sound insulation. But in this segment, this is what you are dealt with in most of the cars. But what is not the norm is this. The moment you floor the acceleration, it pulls you forward just like a jet, with a lot of noise again, of course. And this is something that you'll either like it or not like it, because this noise will be there, will remind you that you're really driving at a high speed. But it really corners at a very precise level. The steering is so abrupt. There is a bit of understeer, but not really that will remind you of anything. Overall, I think in driving dynamics, Slavia will completely enthrall you with its driving mechanisms. Now, since it's a 1.5 litre TSI engine, you don't expect the same amount of fuel efficiency as you'd expect in a 1 litre TSI engine. But the good part is that it comes with the active cylinder technology, where 2 cylinders switches off while you're coasting or cruising, thereby increasing your fuel efficiency. We are yet to test that, and on the Slavia, in the screen in front of you, it doesn't show any of that thing happening, but it's actually behind the scene activity. In the Taycan, you can see that while working, and that's a visual treat to watch cylinder tech bars going up and down. Now, these paddle shifters complete the playful driving experience of the Slavia. If there was no paddle shifters, I would have been very disappointed. Now you can put it on manual and use the paddle shifters to your exact driving needs, and it's fun. There's also a 6-speed manual and automatic variant of the Slavia, but we are driving the 1.5 litre TSI automatic 7-speed gearbox, and it's playful. That's how I'll summarize this. But before we summarize that, let's have some more fun. This is not exactly the kind of landscape you would expect a regular sedan end up with. And this is also the end of our 2-part review of the Skoda Slavia. Now, with the ground clearance of 179 mm, it does have an edge over all its competition in its segment. But is it an SUV? The answer is clear no. Let me summarize this for you. The build quality could have been better. The sound insulation inside the cabin could have been better. What is already good is the driving mechanisms, the engine, the creature comforts, the boot capacity, the ground clearance. All of that really makes the Slavia a class apart. It has definitely brought a fresh lease of life to the regular sedan category, and is definitely going to disrupt a lot of things. And for that, it does deserve a test drive.